Well, there we have it, F1's first race in Qatar. And before I get into the video itself, make sure to check out my video in the description down below about F1's We Race as One message ahead of the Qatar Grand Prix. Brings up some pretty important issues that we talk about as F1 goes into its final 3 races, well, 2 of them now left, in the Middle East. But what do I say about the race? Well, this is something that's quite interesting. The last time that we had Mercedes, Honda and Renault on the podium all together was, well, last season. It was in the Eiffel Grand Prix at the Nürburgring, where it was Lewis from Max with a Renault, now Alpine, in 3rd place. Difference was that it was Daniel Ricciardo at the time, now it's Fernando Alonso. And I think that's been the big thing that we can talk about from today. Because at the end of the day, the grid drops only hampered Mercedes, Bottas dropping well back after getting a 3-place grid penalty, whilst Verstappen managed to make the most of his 5-place drop and just sail around the inside in turn 1 and get himself into 4th place. After a few laps, he was in 2nd. Meaning that, well, he was just not really there to contend with Lewis for most of the day. Mercedes was able to cover him off when he stops. Checo ended up dropping back, not really fudging through the field as quickly as he could. And Alonso benefited from a late race VSC brought out by a stopping Nicholas Latifi. But there are a couple of other bits and pieces that we can talk about in this race. Mercedes deciding to let Bottas go more than half the distance on a set of mediums. It's Mercedes' own fault, in my opinion, that Bottas wasn't pitted sooner, taken off of those mediums. It's already done half the race. They lasted longer than Pirelli said they were going to. And then he got a puncture. They pitted, but the damage was already done, and he later retired the car. And I don't reckon it's going to be particularly likely that the driver's title is going to be decided off of the fastest lap point from Qatar. I don't think it's going to be decided by 1 point. But Bottas retiring, that's been a massive hamper for Mercedes, who were able to easily get a double podium, if not a points gain on Red Bull coming out of this. At the end of the day, they still have a 5-point advantage over Red Bull, and with the last 2 tracks of the calendar, well, we don't know what Saudi Arabia is going to be like. Abu Dhabi was good for Mercedes, apart from last year, when Verstappen, I'm pretty sure, got a Grand Slam, or got very close to it. So, I don't really know what to think, because at the same time, I think Mercedes made a mistake there, and they've been criticised by both their drivers recently for the way they handle strategy. I mean, they were both criticised them at Sao Paulo, and then they converted it to a 1-3. So it was the strategy was actually the right thing to do that day. But I think overall this race was a bit processional. Qatar's circuit around Lusail, it's designed primarily for motorcycle racing, but it reminds me a lot of Bahrain. It's in a bit of a kind of middle of nowhere situation. The track design is largely quite similar. Bahrain, albeit with a bit more elevation. And yeah, the way it flows is largely quite similar as well. I think well done by Alpine and Alonso today. That's got to be said. And it also seems like the drivers who had experience here in the past didn't really make the most of it. Sergio Perez finished 4th, starting way down outside the top 10. And then the other person with the most recent experience around there was Nikita Mazepin, who was last of the finishes. Again, still P21 and 20 driver championship. I can't make sense of it. But all I can say is that with 2 rounds left, it's still up in the air as to who will be the 2021 champion. I really hope it goes down to the wire, and depending on how it goes next time, when we go to Saudi Arabia for the first time, it could be, if Lewis wins from Verstappen and takes the fastest lap, a dead heat as we head to Yas Marina. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye for now.